Finally tonight, a fish story, but so much more than that. This is the World Aquarium at the City Museum, a place that has come a long way since we first came here to see, well, just how they were going to do this. It was in early 2004, and they were just beginning to turn this empty space on the second floor of the museum building, the old International Shoe Company warehouse off Washington Avenue, into the new home of the aquarium.
For things, we've got moray eels, which will be spitting the boats out.
City Museum founder and artist Bob Cassilly was busily doing what he does best,
through here, and this
turning his wild imagination into fantastic reality.
And there'll be this fish head that you go through to get into it. And if you look through there, there'll be the touch tank, which will be the underground windows. So as you come along here, you see the fish swimming way under there, so you have to climb under there and see it. And that leads you.
They were creating shapes and spaces designed not for people to look at things on display. They were crafting a space that would mix together people and fish.
You know, we can't really compete with like a shed aquarium on a massive thing, but we can be like the coolest small aquarium in the country. So that's what we're going for.
We came back a few months later, and they had one of the big tanks already built and filled with water, but it's not really what we had come to see. We came because they told us they were expecting a shipment on this day, a shipment of sharks. Not the really big kinds of sharks, but sharks nonetheless. There was some discussion about the safest and most efficient way to move them from the tank in the truck to the tank upstairs. And the solution? Nothing fancy. Just grab them and run. For some of the sharks, they didn't even use a net. They just carried them in by hand. These also needed some shots on arrival, and the vet was on hand for the quick inoculations. Having sharks swimming around in downtown St. Louis now seemed like progress, but the aquarium wasn't nearly ready. They hadn't even built the tube that would allow visitors to crawl through the shark tank. Well, I figured it was time to come visit the aquarium again. I mean, now that it's been open for a while and it's all finished. And then I remembered, around here, nothing is ever all finished. It's always a work in progress. You get the idea when you walk in that this is not just an aquarium. There's a supporting cast of characters here, birds, snakes, mammals, and a lot of them you're welcome to touch. Keeping watch over the day-to-day operations is Michelle Benedict, who came here from a marine education center right on the Pacific Ocean. But she's a Chicago native and understands why a lot of us might need a little encouragement to get involved with fish.
Coming from the West Coast, this is everybody's backyard. But in the Midwest, a lot of folks don't even know what a horseshoe crab is, or have never even considered that they could touch a shark without being eaten alive.
Can you show me what, how I can interact with a horseshoe crab then?
I'd be happy to. The horseshoe crab is an East Coast species. This is a small one. They're fairly prehistoric. They haven't changed a whole bunch in a long time. They have a very hard carapace on the top, and you can sort of see the eyeballs right here on the sides. And on the underside, they have an interesting grouping of legs, and each has sort of a tiny little pincher of sorts to help them move along the bottom.
It is very much a city museum type aquarium. If you just stand there, you're going to miss too much. Climb up to the boat overlooking the big tank, and you can crawl into that tube and find yourself surrounded by sharks. Attendance since last year's opening, they say, so far quite good, and they're ready now for their first full season of tourism. Ready, but never finished. They've got plans to add and to improve. They're always searching for stuff and never quite satisfied.